cause and effect, and prepositional phrase. Before that, we will introduce our group members. My name is Angelica Masa.
My name is Vanita.
My name is Raul Tapea.
My name is Sargi Georgius Gawan.
Have a good time watching, guys.
The purpose of our discussion. First, for fulfill the mid-semester assessment of English language and literature subject. Second, for add insight into cause and effect and prepositional phrases for listeners. And the last, for analyze cause and effect and prepositional phrases from a given text. In Chapter 1, we will discuss what cause and effect, function, characteristic, and how to analyze cause and effect. What do you think, guys, about cause and effect? In composition, cause and effect is method of paragraph or essay development in which a writer analyzes the reason for and or the consequence of an action, event, or decisions. A cause and effect paragraph or essay can be organized in various ways. Cause is the motive, drive, or action that produces a reaction. The cause is a cause that will cause an effect. Meanwhile, an effect is a condition, event, or result from one, several causes. An example of cause and effect is the car crashed into a tree because the driver was texting while driving. Did you know, guys, that cause and effect have a function? A cause is something that produces an event or condition. An effect is what results from an event or condition. The purpose of the cause and effect essay is to determine how various phenomena relate in terms of origin and result. The function of cause and effect is to explain the relationship between two interlinked events. We are one event, cause, causes another event, effect. Cause and effect is also used a method in fishbone diagram, which are also known as Ishikawa diagrams or fishbone diagrams. Fishbone diagram is quality analysis and planning tool that is used to identify and analyze various causal factors, cause and effect, of a problem or event that occurs. Therefore, causal sentences are often found in various text examples, especially those that explain an event. Helen, can you help me to explain the characteristic about cause and effect?
Yes, of course. So, I will explain the characteristic of cause and effect, guys. Cause and effects essays are similar to other kind of expository essays in that they present facts in a clear, logical format. They employ an objective, analytical tone and stay away from flowery and inciting language. This is how they differ from argumentative, persuasive, and descriptive essay. The characteristic of cause is about motive, reason, action, and discussion. And then the characteristic of effect is about result, outcomes, condition, or occurrences produced by the cause. The next, I will explain the step-by-step how to analyze of cause and effect. The first step, look for unstated cause and effect relationship. In some paragraphs, the cause and effect relationship is not directly stated. In these cases, you will have to read between the lines. To find the cause and effect relationship, use clues from the paragraph to identify cause and effect relationship. To find the effect, ask yourself, what happened? To find the cause, ask yourself, why did it happen? Let's look at some examples. The first example. The Great Barrier Reef is threatened by global warming. The rising water temperature causes reef bleaching, making the reef less colorful and more prone to disease. To find the effect, we find first out which sentences show what happened in this first example. What do you think about the effect from the first example, Alex?
I don't know, miss.
Okay, I will tell you. So, the effect is reef bleaching. Okay guys, let's move on to the second example. Michelle, can you read the second example?
I can, miss. I tried my hand at all of the ball sports you can imagine, including lacrosse, basketball, soccer, and softball, which is why I found myself on the track during 9th grade tryouts.
Which sentence do you think show cause and effect, Michelle?
In this example, the cause is implied being bad at team sports, and the effect or result is trying out for track and field.
Alright, great, Michelle. And the next step, look for the signal words that show cause and effect relationships. Signal words that show cause or effect relationships such as because, so that, if, then, consequently, to, since, for this reason, as a result of, therefore, due to, this is, how, nevertheless, and accordingly. The first is cause and effect plus noun. In this structure, both the cause and effect are presented as nouns. And there are two types. The first type is signal words or phrase plus cause plus effect. For example, due to Icha's nervousness, he did not pass the driving test. Here, due to shows the signal words, and the cause is Icha's nervousness, and then the effect is she did not pass the driving test. The second type is effect plus signal word or phrase plus cause. For example, Helen couldn't sing owing to his sore throat. In this example, Helen couldn't sing is the effect, while his sore throat is the cause, and both are noun phrases. The second is cause and effect with verbs. In this structure, the cause or the effect or both is presented in a verb form. The first is signal words or phrase plus cause plus effect. For example, because Icha was nervous, she did not pass the driving test. Here, Icha was nervous is a verb phrase referencing the cause, and did not pass the driving test is another verb phrase representing the effect. The second type is effect plus signal word or phrase plus cause. For example, Helen couldn't sing for this throat is sore. In this structure, the effect Helen couldn't sing is presented first in verb phrase format. This is followed by the signal phrase for, and the cause his throat is sore, also expressed as a verb phrase. Now we go to the last step. Look for effects that are also causes. Effect can form a chain in which one effect goes on to cause a second effect, which may then cause a third effect, and so on. Alex, can you read the following example text?
I'll try, miss. When people cut down trees to clear land, they destroy the habitats of birds. This reduces the number of nest sites. As a result, fewer baby birds are hatched, and the bird population declines.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Now, can you analyze which are the causes and effects?
I'm not sure. but I'll give it a try, miss. If I look from the effect, there are 4 effects, miss. The first effect is the habitats of birds are destroyed. The second effect, the number of nest sites is reduced. And the third effect, fewer baby birds are hatched. And the fourth effect is the bird population declines. I think the cause is people cut down trees.
Good job, Alex. Your answer is right.
Now, we move on to the next chapter. In this chapter, we will discuss what is proportional praise, their functions, and the types of proportional praise.
A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase. This noun, pronoun, or noun phrase is the object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases modify or describe nouns, pronouns, adjective, adverb, and verb. A prepositional phrase is a group of words consisting of a preposition, an object, and any modifiers. Modifiers are words that add extra detail or information to another word. In this case, the object propositional phrase are generally used to give use more information about verb or a noun. Example: the dog sits behind a green plant. And now we will discuss the function of the prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase function as an adjective when it modifies a noun. A prepositional phrase function as an adverb when it modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb. Less commonly, a prepositional phrase can function as a noun. Prepositional phrases are used to modify in extra information to a noun, a verb, adverb, or an adjective. Prepositional phrase function in much the same way as preposition and are used to show the relationship between certain words in a sentence in relation to time, space, location, and direction. Prepositional phrase function as adverb when they to modify verbs and as adjective when they modify nouns. Galan, please explain the types of prepositional phrase.
There are 2 types. The first type is adjective prepositional phrases. Adjective prepositional phrases follow the nouns they modify, unlike adjectives which generally go immediately before the nouns they modify. Like adjectives, they tell which one, what kind, how much, or how many. Now, let's look at the following example. Rahul show on television tonight is about snow leopards in Asia. On television, tell us which show. In Asia, tell us which leopards. And the next example. It's the smallest apartment in the building. Based on the data above, in the building this prepositional phrase constructed by the preposition in and the building. As an object of preposition, the prepositional phrase found in the sentence above is related to a noun apartment. In position of prepositional phrase, in adjective function, prepositional phrase follow the nouns they modify. This prepositional phrase modify noun function as an adjective phrase. Let's look at the last example. Sitting on a folding seat on a line 7 train. She thought about how she would surprise her children. One of prepositional phrase in the sentence above is on a folding seat. On as a preposition and a folding seat as an object of preposition. The prepositional phrase connected with the noun is sitting. In position of prepositional phrase in adjective function, prepositional phrase follow the nouns they modify. The prepositional phrase found in the sentence above is follow the noun sitting. This prepositional phrase modifies noun function as an adjective phrase. There are the first types. Let's look at the second types. The second type is adverb prepositional phrases that modify adjectives, and adverbs must go after the words they modify. Like intensive years, they tell to what extent. They can also tell why, or in what way, or in what circumstances. Okay, now let's analyze the examples. The first example. I am hungry because of this diet. Because of this diet tells why I am hungry. The second example. The toys were put in transparent bag and sealed as evidence. Prepositional phrase in the sentence above in transparent bags in as preposition and transparent bag as object of preposition. In transparent bags is prepositional phrase in the position of adverbial function because the prepositional phrase connected with the verb put. Prepositional phrase in transparent bags is adverbial function. Now, let's analyze the last example. They stand on tiptoe, trying to make out what is happening behind the police curtain. Inside the ambulance, as it sets off, sirens screaming. One of prepositional phrase in the sentence above is behind the police cordon. This prepositional phrase in the position of adverbial function. Because behind as preposition and the police cordon as an object. As an object of preposition is connected with the word happening. And the happening is a verb. The preposition phrase behind the police cordon is set off by comma in the middle of this sentence. So, the position of the prepositional phrase in the sentence is an adverbial function with position. Okay, from all the material we have discussed, now we will try to analyze the text based on the topics we have talked about earlier. Let's do it together.
Okay guys, now I will discuss this text to find out which ones are cause and effect in this text. Alex, can you help me read the following text, please?
Sure, miss. The excessive use of plastic has caused a significant impact on our environment. The production and disposal of plastic products have led to pollution in our oceans, air, and soil. Plastic waste is one of the major contributors to marine pollution, causing harm to marine animals and ecosystems. The single-use plastic bags, straws, and bottles are some of the most common plastic products. They are not biodegradable and end up in the ocean. The plastic waste in the ocean not only harms marine life but also affect human health. The consumption of seafood that has been contaminated with plastic can cause serious health issues in humans. The increasing use of plastic has also resulted in greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to global warming.
Thank you, Alex. What do you think, guys, about cause and effect based on the text? Now, I will help you analyze the cause and effects of the text. Okay, the sentence that shows the cause is the exercise use of plastic, because the sentence is cause of what happened. Here there are several effects that are caused. The first, pollution in ocean, air, and soil effect. The second, plastic waste as a major contributor to marine pollution effect. The third, harm to marine animals and ecosystem effect. The fourth, single-use plastic products not biodegradable and ending up in the oceans effect. The fifth, negative impact on human health through contaminated seafood effect. And the last, greenhouse gas emissions contributing to global warming. Now, Mr. Galan will analyze prepositional phrases. Please, Mr. Galan.
Thank you, Miss Helen, for helping to analyze cause and effect in the text. Now, let's analyze the text together to find out which prepositional phrases are in the text. But before we start, please, Laura, mention what are the characteristics of each type of prepositional phrase. Please, Laura.
Sure, sir. From what I gather, adjectives tell which one, what kind, how much or how many, and so adverb tell why or in what way or in what circumstances.
Great, Laura. Now, let's analyze the text for looking the adjective prepositional phrases first. Look at the first sentences of the paragraph. The excessive use of plastic has caused a significant impact on our environment. The sentences on our environment include the adjective prepositional phrase. Why? Because that sentence already answered the question, impact where? Let's move to the next sentence. The production and disposal of plastic products have led to pollution in our oceans, air, and soil. The sentences after disposal. The sentences of plastic products include the adjective prepositional phrase. Why? Because that sentence is already answering the question production and disposal of what. Now let's look at the third sentences of the paragraph. Plastic waste is one of the major contributors to marine pollution. The sentences of the major contributors are include the adjective prepositional phrase. Why? Because of the major contributors already answers the question what kind of waste. Now let's look at the last sentences of the paragraph. The increasing use of plastic has also resulted in greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to global warming. Of plastic include the adjective prepositional phrase because already answers the question what kind of use. There are 4 adjective prepositional phrase has been found in the text. Now let's see at the adverb prepositional phrase in the text. That was the adjective prepositional phrase that has been found. Now let's look at the adverb prepositional phrase. Look the second sentence of the paragraph. The production and disposal of plastic products have led to pollution in our oceans, air, and soil. In this sentence, have 2 adverb prepositional phrase. The to pollution and in our oceans, air, and soil. Why the sentence to pollution include the adverb prepositional phrase? Because that sentence already answered the question have led to what? And why the sentence in our oceans, air, and soil include the adverb prepositional phrase? Because that sentence already answered the question have led where? Nah, there are 2 sentence adverb prepositional phrase already found. Now let's move to the next adverb prepositional phrase. Look for the third sentence in the paragraph. Plastic waste is one of the major contributors to marine pollution. To marine pollution include the adverb prepositional phrase. Why? Because that sentence already answered the question contributes to what? Now let's continue reading the third sentence of the paragraph. Causing harm to marine animals and ecosystems. To marine animals and ecosystem are include the adverb prepositional phrase. Why? Because that sentence already answered the question, causing harm to what? Now let's look at the fourth sentence in the paragraph. The single-use plastic bags, straws, and bottles are some of the most common plastic products that are not biodegradable and end up in the ocean. In the ocean include the adverb prepositional phrase. Why? Because the sentence already answers the question, end up where? There are 5 adverb prepositional phrase already found. Now, let's move to the next adverb prepositional phrase. The plastic waste in the ocean not only harms marine life but also affects human health. In the ocean of the sentence include the adverb prepositional phrase. Why? Because this sentence already answer the question, harms where? Let's find the next adverb prepositional phrase. The consumption of seafood that has been contaminated with plastic can cause serious health issues in humans. In this sentence, there are 2 adverb prepositional phrase. The sentence with plastic and in humans. Why with plastic include the adverb prepositional phrase? Because with plastic already answering the question, contaminated how? And why in humans include the adverb prepositional phrase? Because in humans already answer the question, cause in womb. Now let's look the next adverb prepositional phrase. The increasing use of plastic has also resulted in greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to global warming. The sentence to global warming are include the adverb prepositional phrase. Why? Because to global warming already answering the question, contribute to what? Those are the 9 adverbs that we have found in the text. Now, let's see what can we conclude from our discussion earlier with Miss Icha.
From our discussion, we can conclude this text is related to the subject of sociology because it discusses social problem. A social problem is an undesirable situation that affects people's lives, so appropriate action is needed to overcome it. Waste is a social problem because it can pollute the environment and has the potential to cause health problems. Waste is a social problem that still cannot be completely resolved. As the population increases, the amount of waste also increases. Waste is a social problem because it causes population, pollutes water, air, and land. However, there are still several problems that can be overcome in relation to learning, crafts, and entrepreneurship, namely recycling waste that can still be made into handicraft, especially from plastic waste.